Hey guys, this is Sarah and Logan from the Power Couple, and yesterday we saw Suicide Squad.
Yeah, opening night.
Well, close to opening night. I don't know. I
there were
don't.
there were some showings at like 10 o'clock, but it was at 11:30 our show time, so close enough.
Anyway, it's kind of another one of those controversial movies where like the critics seem to hate it, while the fans seem to be super psyched about it. So we're here to tell you our thoughts and maybe a verdict on if y'all should see it or not.
Disclaimer though, we're not like really big DC fans, or hell, we didn't even really like. We're not big comic book fans. Like we love like the superhero movies that have been come out in the recent decade, but we didn't grow up like reading comics or exploring lore and stuff. We've just recently got into it. I feel like it was the Avengers that first got us into it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
And so we're
I
so
think it
we're
was like a,
totally noobs when it comes to that stuff. But I think it's a good idea for some people who isn't a DC fan and they're or like is well, just like superhero movies to be like to let people know if they should see it or not.
yeah, they've really caught in popularity lately. But for Suicide Squad, it, it's an idea that I would never thought of. Um,
It sounds like a fan fiction. It kind of does.
but it honestly, I think it worked. But more on that later. I just want to go over a small summary about it.
Yeah,
So
we'll try not to do spoilers, but if we say something spoilery,
yeah,
we'll put
but
like an
just
annotation or something.
just warning now. We're just there's going to be spoilers. I disagree with you, Sarah. We're just going to say something and not realize it.
Yeah.
Okay, so first off, this is pretty much right after Batman v Superman. If you saw that, I'm probably going to spoil that too because I saw it with a friend.
Who cares though? It's been out for a while.
Basically, people are scared of these super people who have come from the heavens, mainly Superman, because that's what happened in Man of Steel.
And he blew shit up.
Basically, and then their people are in fear of more people like him who may not be on their side or have the same views, because some people like hated Superman, and some other people really liked him because he was someone to look up to, because his morals was just as good as ours, or at least some people, that really differs. But the government's like scared that the next person who shows up may not be as friendly, and so based on like people who've been mutated or have superpowers that they have in jail, they want to get a group together and basically the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, what the whole plan was, I think, which basically means that they were wanting to get dirty, like regardless, because it was going to be under the table regardless of whoever. And then if they happened to fail the mission, they were going to be thrown under the bus and put back in jail. So
Or
die.
killed on the spot.
Yeah.
It is a pretty weird setup, because like imagine if that happened in our world. Like I don't.
That would be so controversial. People would be so angry.
So so yeah, they just wanted to assemble a team, almost like a evil Avengers, whatever,
Or an evil Justice League. Yeah.
Now that's basically the idea behind it. So the actual story is that it starts off showing off all the characters. Some of them had a better build up than the others, like Deadshot and Harley Quinn. They were built up pretty well with their backstories. But then you had people. Let me see. Killer Croc. Diablo was built up. Captain Boomerang. There was nothing about him.
Captain Boomerang, and then there was, I don't even know what the girl's name was, but I'm just gonna call her Kitana, even though that's a Street Fighter character. I don't even care.
And then of course the Enchantress, which is the reason they got together. So I think the Amanda Waller, the woman who thought of the idea. at the beginning, she showed off like this is what could happen, and the reason that she was able to control him is with the enchantress that they got somehow.
Yeah, for the enchantress, they basically it's like almost like a spiritual being. It would almost look like a Mayan like goddess or something like that.
There's got to be a cultural background to her.
Yeah, gotta be. But they got a hold of her and were saying, look, even though she's totally could kill you and stuff, we got her under lock and key. But then she got away. Basically.
It's ridiculous. Like, that's the premise of the story, is that this powerful being got away from the government and Suicide Squad had to happen.
What is this, the Pokemon movie?
So that's where the story starts to really fall for me. I mean, it's just a really poor setup because.
Okay, but they did have 2 cameos, which were kind of cool.
What?
Yeah, don't you remember there was Batman, and then there was Flash.
Well, that was needed for the flashbacks of the different characters.
Yeah, but I'm saying like those weren't. But like it's called a cameo if like they're not like that important to the story,
okay,
but they need to be there.
Okay.
So like for example, for those of you who don't know, a good cameo is like whether that be a line or like a character. So for example, a good one that I can think of is in the Thor movie, Thor 1, whenever the giant metal defender drops down out of the sky, and they asked, oh, is this one of Stark's, as in Iron Man? And they were like, he never tells me anything. Stuff like that. That adds to the plot, or to a character that's kind of needed.
Well, whether it's good or not is clearly subjective, but
yeah. But I thought they were decent.
Like tell them about Ghostbusters.
Oh, okay.
For a cameo example, we're getting off track.
So, but for a bad cameo would be like the taxi cab example.
If you saw the Ghostbusters movie 2016.
So like the ghosts are like raining hellfire down, basically. Like the world's going to shit, and then like this lady just stops in the middle of the fucking like apocalypse, and the guy who's driving is Dan Aykroyd, and he's like, I ain't afraid of no ghosts, and I was like, that is literally the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, why would you stop for a cab? Like, clearly the ghosts are gonna get you no matter what. Anyways,
we're getting off track. Okay,
let's talk about. But anyway, that's basically the plot.
Suicide Squad to go beat the Enchantress. In the story.
In the story, and to prove that the government has something in the arsenal should another super show up.
Okay.
Let's start. Let's do likes.
Likes. Okay. What did you like about it, Sarah?
Okay. So, are we talking about characters, or are we talking about
just
like
anything right now?
Okay. Well.
You should bring the fire.
Well, I do like, the acting was okay.
Is there anyone in particular?
At first I was a little concerned that Will Smith was going to be in there. I was like, I don't really want this to be a Will Smith movie.
What have you seen him in anything else?
Yeah, I've seen him. He was really good in Independence Day.
He was also
in Men in Black.
Men in Black. That's what I was thinking.
And so I was hoping it would do really well, and he did a pretty good job.
I really liked him. Yeah.
Yeah, but the one of the and like it did feel kind of like the Will Smith show a little bit sometimes. But
what is that?
But like as in like he was one of the characters I was focused on the most.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
the movie, I think he might have been the highest paid actor, actually.
Yeah, which makes sense. But he was a good enough character to do that for.
Other good character, Jared Leto as Joker. I like him.
Yeah, I just wish that he had more screen time.
Definitely, because we've seen almost all of the Dark Knight trilogy. Screw us, I guess. But what was it? Christian Bale?
Christian Bale's the Batman.
Okay.
Okay, Heath Ledger's Joker.
That's who. Yeah, he did a phenomenal job.
I don't think anybody can beat him, probably. But Jared Leto, like, even for the limited screen time he had, he did pretty well. A lot of people don't like. I didn't really like his grill. It was kind of gross.
His grill.
It was kind of gross.
See, with this, and
but
so
I can kind of see what he's doing, because in the original Batman movies, like the live action ones, Jack Nicholson, who played the Joker, he was also kind of like a mafia boss, so it worked out that way.
Yeah, and so then Heath Ledger, he was more like a mastermind, like crazy criminal kind of person.
Yeah, like an anarchist.
And then Jared Leto was just a psychopath.
Yeah, he was just a crazy mob boss, basically.
And his relationship with Harley Quinn felt it was uncomfortable, but in a good way.
Yeah, it was uncomfortable because like you don't normally picture because I don't even know if they showed this with like in the comics or the cartoons. Like the Joker and Harley Quinn were definitely intimate. They didn't have sex or anything like that in the movie, thank God. I would not have wanted to see that.
Well, it was PG-13.
It was, but it showed them that even whenever you're a villain and you're absolutely nutso, there's someone for everybody.
Yeah. That leads to Diablo, who also had a relationship, but it didn't turn out as good for him.
Nope. Another good character I think they did really well, and which I was also worried about, was Harley Quinn. I was afraid that they were going to over-sexualize her, and then all she was going to be is another pair of tits.
Well, in a way, she was sexualized, but that's for her character, because like, she's supposed to be seductive.
Yeah, I knew that. Like, that's totally fine. The way they did it in the movie was almost perfect.
And she was a lot of fun to watch. Like, even though they were fighting these really, like, buff, like, soldier-looking kind of
like
figures.
Things.
I don't know what they were.
There was some Bloodborne shit.
She really seemed to still fit in.
Yeah, and then like I said, she's supposed to be seductive and sexual, and I think they captured that aspect of her pretty well.
But one thing we can both agree on is that some of the outfits and the makeup looks phenomenal. Like on Killer Croc and the Enchantress, it looks.
Oh yeah,
really
like
nice.
Like I don't know how long those makeup people spent time on it, but it was great. Killer Croc actually looked like he had some stuff on his face that made him look like a crocodile.
I'm pretty sure the irritation also added to his character.
Yeah, probably. And then the Enchantress, since she's been from long ago and they found her like in a tomb or whatever, she looks really, really filthy and dirty.
She might have been CG just a little bit, but
oh yeah, with
definitely
the
not the
shit. Yeah,
but definitely not the entire time.
And then they built up a lot. They made the characters that they did build up were really, really good. So
let me see. Oh, and let's not forget like the scariest character, Amanda Waller.
Oh yeah, basically female Nick Fury, but better.
My gosh, like
she did not give a shit about anything.
Everyone who saw her was scared at some point when she was around. Like, she's a full-on badass.
Yeah, because it goes to show that she will do anything to save the country and save the world, regardless of the consequences.
She has determination.
Yeah, she definitely does. Let's see. The romance didn't feel forced or anything.
No.
Like there wasn't a forced romance.
Yeah, the only one was Joker and Harley Quinn, but that was supposed to happen.
That's supposed to happen. Okay, the one thing that I actually was kind of laughed at because I didn't understand what was happening at first, but then once I like redid it in my brain, if that makes sense, I was like, oh, so there's a scene where Harley Quinn and Joker are like driving to a lake to get away from Batman, and except Harley Quinn can't swim. Well, in that I don't know if she actually can, but the Joker escapes, and she's like, obviously she can't swim, so she's just sitting there and she's drowning. So Batman saves her, and then so he's gonna give her mouth to mouth like to save her, but then she like kisses him because like, you know, she's seductive. And at first I saw it as Batman like kissing her like as if he really liked her, and I was like, hold up. And then, but then I replayed it, and I was in my brain. I was like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." I feel stupid, but it was just really random, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
But hey, it made you uncomfortable.
It did. A lot of this movie is like did a really, really good job of making people uncomfortable, and I think that was the feeling that they wanted to achieve.
Let me see. Let's talk a bit more of Diablo, because you really liked him towards the end.
Diablo, I loved him towards the end.
Because his backstory involved how he had a family, but then he's practically Johnny Storm from the Fantastic Four. He can.
Is that better?
Yeah, he basically fire bends.
Yeah, he's very strong with fire. So half the movie he doesn't even do anything because he doesn't want to fight. Because
in his backstory, he ended up lighting his family on fire.
Yeah, but because he got mad, and it was hard to control fire.
But he realized his consequence, and that's why he rarely ever used his fire again, because he didn't like having that power. Oh God.
Yeah, and my favorite part of the entire movie probably was at the very end.
Now we're hitting spoiler territory.
Yeah, this is very spoilery. So the Enchantress. We hadn't mentioned this before. The Enchantress calls upon her brother, which is like another god type entity.
DC
I don't
fans,
know.
Please help us.
I don't
understand.
I don't know that, but the brother, like, he's like really impossible. He destroys anything, and he's really, really strong, and he can rip through like a entire copter in like 2 seconds. But Diablo uses fire power to distract him to get to.
He like transformed into this beast of a character, all engulfed in flames, and definitely looked like something from Hispanic culture.
It looked like a Day of the Dead character to me, because he had a skeleton and he had like a little like sombrero with like fire on it, and that was my favorite part because I did not expect that.
Almost equal or better yet, was stronger than this brother character.
Yeah, who like almost seemed impossible to beat in the entire movie, because like literally no one else could beat him.
And even though Diablo had to go, it was a meaningful death. Like, there was plenty of non-meaningful deaths. There was a character named Slipknot who apparently had a very good climbing ability, but was killed off for trying to get away from the group. I don't know if there was many Slipknot fans, as in the superhero, not the band. Yeah. I don't know if people actually got that confused.
I did. I saw sorry Slipknot fans, and I was like, why do I care?
But yeah, they just threw him out. So I don't know if anyone cared about him a whole lot. But that's what happened. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Diablo's death, we felt something. I felt really bad about it. I didn't cry, but
I didn't cry throughout the whole movie.
It hurt in my heart.
Yeah. Okay, so do you want to move on to dislikes?
Dislikes. I'm gonna go and throw out my biggest one. They supposedly killed the Joker. I say that because he comes back. But when Harley Quinn almost got away from the group, and her little whatever they tracked them with that they could just automatically detonate to kill them on the spot. Somehow Harley Quinn's got removed or dysfunctional thanks to Joker's
like henchmen.
I guess
it was like an inside job type deal. Like, one of the people that was working for the Suicide Squad also was in with the Joker, so he deactivated the grenade thing. So the Amanda Waller, the character that we mentioned earlier, that like she just automatically says, "Okay, we're gonna blow up the copter."
And no. She told Deadshot to shoot Harley Quinn, but he missed, even though his accuracy is supposed to be like the best.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that I don't. That part wasn't as important to me as whenever she just shows how she doesn't give a shit. And then whenever the Joker supposedly died, I didn't think he was dead. I have to disagree with you there, but
I mean, I don't know if they were able to kill off Superman, which I don't know if he's still dead because whatever conspiracies at the end where a tiny pebble rose for half a second. Who knows? Maybe Superman is still dead. I don't know. But I really thought they actually killed him off, and I was mad throughout the rest of the film until I saw him again. Maybe I'm just a sucker. Kiss my ass.
Yeah, I was like, they couldn't have killed them that easily. That's like two of the their DC staple characters. They can't just do that. Also, one of the plot was kind of lacking, in my opinion.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier. How the conflict was just beat the Enchantress. She got away from us. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was. So the point of the Enchantress is that she has a host body of an explorer that went into her tomb or whatever.
It was basically a slap in the face.
She's like, oh, here's this brother character that we have around for some fucking reason. I don't know why. And so it's like a voodoo doll that breaks open and her brother comes out. And I said, why would he even be here? And if the Enchantress is supposedly lock and key, because they had her heart, it's almost like a voodoo heart thing.
Yeah, they control the Enchantress really, but she was able to get her heart back or something.
It was
that
weird.
Was the part where I didn't understand. But
there was minor inconveniences also, oh, she bolted, really? That's literally what he said. She bolted. I was like, wow, you couldn't do anything?
Nope.
And then also the plot was kind of stupid because whenever it came to the part where she's like, we have to build the machines, and I was like, why? Well, obviously you're power enough to subjugate anybody.
I'm not even sure what she was doing.
I don't even
throughout
know
most
either.
of the film, there's this huge ray of light in the sky where it's presumed that she's making something, but we're not clear on what that was. Was it supposed to be an actual machine like a robot, or was it supposed to be like a bomb? It's really unclear, and I don't even know if she got close to finishing it because the Suicide Squad got them, but I kind of want to know what she was doing.
Yeah, she was just standing in one spot and making an army. And one thing that was cool about her, even though this is dislikes, is that she did have a costume change once she got her heart back.
Yeah, she looked a bit well, actually she looked more human if I think about it.
Yeah, because she was supposed to be a goddess.
True.
And
we totally forgot about her husband.
Yeah.
So the doctor who this Enchantress was possessing, the human was married to another character who was in the Army, Navy. I don't know. Which
his name was
division.
Captain Flag. What he did, which is kind of a stupid name, no offense. Captain Flag got he was the flagship of the Suicide Squad. So he basically had his iPad thing that would detonate everybody, so he would tell everybody what to do. He was
also a pretty good leader, to be honest. At their lowest, he almost let them go. I mean, Amanda Waller eventually came back and was like, I changed my mind. I could still kill you. But he pretty much let them go and then try to sympathize with them. And, of course, he appealed to Deadshot and Diablo, who then everyone else was like, oh, okay, we'll join you. And they win.
That's another thing. I would have appreciated it more if they'd build, in Guardians of the Galaxy, they built every single character up.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, because there was a couple characters I was like, okay, well, so, for example, Deadshot and Harley Quinn were built up to a T. They were, you knew who they were, kind of. There was a couple characters like Captain Boomerang, who I really didn't give a shit about.
Or the Katana lady.
I kind of cared about her because she was cool.
just because you like her appeal, but like story wise, we just knew that she like trapped her husband in her sword or something. But other than that,
And she was there to protect the flag.
Oh yeah.
Should anything happen.
But really, I didn't feel anything for her.
Yeah, like honestly, there was a couple characters that I honestly, and then like I felt like El Diablo shouldn't have died. Like he was a better character than Captain Boomerang, and I was like, if Captain Boomerang died, I wouldn't have cared. Like I was like, oh, okay, I guess.
Well, this is the DC universe. We're not really supposed to care about the villains that much.
I know,
I mean,
but
I hope something with Suicide Squad or the Joker comes back, but
that's the whole point of the Suicide Squad. You're supposed to care because why do you think they built up the characters? Oh, look at this sad story about my daughter who doesn't want me to kill anybody.
But more people want to see the superheroes, the Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, etc.
I don't.
Marvel fangirl right here.
Well, no, I'm not
Yes, you are.
anything close to. It's not funny. I'm not anything close to anything because.
Well, you don't. I'm not saying like fangirl as in like the stereotypical fangirl. Like you just really like Marvel a lot, and I understand that.
Well, yeah, and don't patronize me on that. What I was saying is that lots of people were excited about it because it's a change for once. It's not let's watch the same old superhero that we've known for a long time beat the shit out of somebody. Why don't we let the bad guys have a turn and actually root for the bad guys for once, and they actually win for once? You know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of nice. Okay.
So on that note, we're gonna do some comparisons. So there are two movies that come to mind when we think of Suicide Squad. It's the previous DC film, that being Batman v Superman. What have they done since then? Have it gone better or worse? I'm going to explain that, and then Sarah and I can both sort of explain how it relates to Guardians of the Galaxy. Because let's be honest, it's sort of what Marvel did with Guardians of the Galaxy, because they were all like criminals, but yet they still came together to fight what's the term, like similar foe.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give the floor over to Logan because I haven't seen Batman vs Superman.
Oh god, that film on its own has a lot of controversy, to be honest. I can't bring it to justice. Donna Justice.
Donna bullshit.
No. So, like many, Batman v Superman, the plot was kind of pokey, filled with holes. In the extended version, some things are lengthened out, explained, but even then, they should have done that in the first place in the movie, so people understand what's going on. As for Suicide Squad, the story was much better. The writers were much better than the one for Batman v Superman. But I feel like they treaded that in for the action. Now, don't get me wrong. Suicide Squad's action was a lot of fun to watch. Mm-hmm. But in Batman v Superman, it was a lot more intense because you've got Batman, Superman fighting each other, and then eventually Wonder Woman comes in, and then they fight Doomsday.
Yeah, and like that one scene from the intro whenever Batman flies in and beats the shit out of those guys. It's really cool.
I'm like, yeah, and Batman was amazing in that film. Like, whenever he took on like soldiers on his own, it looked phenomenal. But again, Batman v Superman, the story was flat, action was great, and then for Suicide Squad, just flip it. I wouldn't say the action was flat. I'm just saying that it was just a little bit lower than the Batman v Superman. But I would still watch both of them again. Now let's go to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, so with Guardians of the Galaxy, I would say that the one thing that Suicide Squad does wrong is that at the very beginning, you have Deadshot say, "I'm gonna get out of here," do all this, and I was like, you just gave away the whole plot. You're stupid. But in the Guardians of the Galaxy, you had no idea what was happening, and
so say like
It was predictable for Suicide Squad. I was like, this is gonna happen, and then it did.
okay. Yeah, so it seemed a little like I guess you could say stereotypical criminals are like I'm gonna get out of here, I'm gonna get revenge.
Yeah, exactly.
Punch.
And while it was Guardians of the Galaxy,
There was like a bit more mystery.
there was a bit more mystery, and plus, with I'm just gonna say Gigi, with Gigi, well, each one of the characters was a lot more fleshed out. I felt something for each of them.
Each and every one of them, yeah.
Even, I mean, for crying out loud, whenever Groot died, I was bawling like a little baby in the theater.
We are Groot.
Oh, like if you cry every time.
Oh my gosh.
And but with Suicide Squad, the only person who I really felt bad for was well, not Harley Quinn, because whenever the Joker supposedly died, I was like, he's not dead. But when I felt really, really bad for Diablo, I was like, oh my god, that's so sad. And then, especially whenever he sacrificed himself like that, it made me mad, because like, I had just started liking him, and then they got rid of him.
Well, you like Deadshot, right?
Well, of course, but he's Will Smith. Who wouldn't like that?
It was still nice. I
yes.
like that.
What was good about them is that I can compare to at the very end of each of the movies. It had the scene where they were grabbing the Power Stone and Gigi, and it shows his mom again. Peter, take my hand, and then at the very end it shows Deadshot's daughter saying, "Don't shoot him. Or, please don't do it."
Yeah.
And then them both doing whatever it is.
Yeah, they're like, we won't take our minds. Basically, they have more control of their mentality than all the Avengers.
Yeah.
But then again, Scarlet
Witch is like crazy strong.
Anyway, Guardians of the Galaxy. What I want to say, I probably have to say I like Guardians of the Galaxy more. I don't know what about it. It's just the characters were more memorable. I laughed a lot more.
And the characters built off of each other.
Yeah, definitely.
And like,
there was some chemistry.
There was some chemistry. Well, there was some chemistry with Suicide Squad, obviously, with Harley Quinn and Deadshot. Again, those were probably the two main characters.
Yeah.
And but some of them, like, they would have shots where like they could have said something, but they were just standing there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you could have said something snarky. You could have said something funny.
Or maybe something better.
Yeah, and I understand that DC's supposed to be brooding, but they could like put like a little snide remark or something or two just to keep it.
There was
popping.
some like the bar scene that was wonderful. We're not trying to entirely hate on Suicide Squad because we really like Guardians of the Galaxy. That we're not saying that we hate Suicide Squad. We're gonna go to the verdict. So I would recommend you go see this movie, whether you're an average person not knowing anything about DC. If you really like DC, like you've been with them for decades now, I'm sure you've seen it, but I don't know what your thoughts are about it. I'm sure to look up some people and their thoughts about it. But for us, or for me, I can't speak for you, Sarah, but I would recommend it for anyone to go see it.
Yeah, and if for the people who are DC fans and may not like it as much, I would say people love the Transformers movie anyway, even though it's a whole bunch of blowing shit up. It's almost like that.
I mean, we sort of liked Age of Extinction, but it's a fucking giant robot dinosaur.
Yeah. But yeah, I would recommend totally going to watch it regardless, and it's good. And I would say like it would be okay for children at least 12 and up.
Yeah, because I've had children talk about the Deadpool movie, which
that's terrible.
That's not great. That's not good.
Also, another thing that I think that DC should do if they really want to do the dark thing before I go, and I want to see this with Wonder Woman, I want them to be rated R. Because that way they could get away with so much more. If they really wanted the dark and brooding route, you could have lots more like gore or more people, like more like subject matter difference. But in that way that less kids would see it, but that didn't stop people from seeing Deadpool. So
my like I'm gonna play devil's advocate from a business standpoint. That might not be as good because they want to like PG-13 PG is the biggest audience. Like, why stick to an R rating for a superhero movie? I mean, they might do what they did with Batman v Superman, make an R-rated version, which would be fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But they're not releasing that in theaters. I don't think they would. I would like it, but I don't think that would happen.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. Like, have like an unedited thing where they put some scenes in there that are a little different for the PG-13. And like I said, like. There's like a lot of things we disliked about the movie, but there was a lot of things that we liked about Suicide Squad.
Yeah, we're looking forward to Wonder Woman. We're hoping it draws in. Like, I'm sorry about making the comparison to Captain America, but that might be a good thing because maybe I'll like Wonder Woman as much as or even more than Captain America because she's a really strong feminine or like womanly figure, and gosh, she's an amazing fighter. With her sword, shield, and especially her whip.
Her whip, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The only thing that I definitely won't be missing is her invisible jet.
That'd be funny if they bring that back.
No
actually.
thanks.
Just one more thing. There's one audience we forgot to mention in our verdict, and that's the Marvel fanboys. Listen, if you love Marvel, don't be hating on Suicide Squad just because it's DC.
I'm sick of that. Like, I love Marvel, and I'm willing to give DC a chance. Like, obviously, some of their movies haven't been the best in the past couple of years, but you should give them a chance because they're trying. They really are. Like, I think Suicide Squad got better reviews than Batman vs Superman, and if they're going the way they're going, Wonder Woman will be even better. So they'll get even better with whatever movie they're making. They just gotta find what works and stick with it, right?
Yeah, well, I want to be in this world where there is just a little bit of competition. Like, with Marvel doing out these great movies, DC finally stepped up and like, hey, we can do it too. It might not be the best, but they're trying. Like, Marvel had some hiccups. Who remembers the Incredible Hulk?
Oh God, the one with the dog nut shot.
God, I don't even want to think about it.
Okay. Also, so that's our verdict. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe. And definitely go check out the soundtrack for Suicide Squad and listen to those. There's some pretty good songs on there.
Yeah, we both personally I like Heathens. Not unfortunately, but I like Purple Lamborghini, but I've liked Skrillex for a while. There was a lot of throwbacks to like classic rock with
Yeah,
oh God.
and you'll see a lot of those in the soundtrack.
What was
so
it? AC/DC.
Catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.